with Mike Frattallone and your host, Chris Reuvers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reuvers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Frattallone. Michael, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good, Reuvers. How about you?
Well, okay. So we're doing this kind of at a different time with scheduling and everything else. And let me bring you into the life of Chris Reuvers here the past, 3.5 days or so. So every year, my family likes to go camping.
Nice.
And we call it glamping because it's, my parents and my two brothers, they have really nice, like fifth wheel campers and whatnot.
You're not pitching a tent on the ground.
Well, that's where I'm going to go.
Okay, got it.
So I do not possess any of that stuff.
Sure.
But every year for the past, 5,000 years, I did it as a kid. Loved it. It was fun. We go up to the lake, Wolf Lake Resort. Shout out to them in Bemidji, Minnesota. And so we always just try to do it just because it's like, okay, when the boys' baseball season finally concludes, let's have a good time as a family, all of us. It's my siblings and their kids and their kids. It's just awesome. Okay. Normally I'm like, oh, God. All right, let's just get through this. I got to tell you, because last week you confessed. You said one thing to me that will always resonate with me. You said, I get it.
I get it.
I totally get it with town baseball.
Yep, and Jordan, Minnesota.
And last night, I had my Mike Frattallone moment.
Oh, tell me about it.
I said, oh my God, I get it. So it's the hustle, right? It's getting here, getting kids to camp, getting kids to their baseball game, getting kids to whatever. So I'm constantly on the go, on the hustle. And summer for me, because I'm not roofing a house. I'm not digging a ditch. I have a great job. I love it. And I have a flexible schedule, but I'm always the one that's shuffling kids to here, to there, to everywhere. Yeah. So last night, it's about midnight.
Okay.
My brothers and I and my nephews and my kids were sitting by the campfire. It's absolutely picturesque. We're down in Austin, Minnesota. Shout out to the Jellystone Beaver Falls Campground, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Right off I-90. And the storm is like kind of way off into the distance.
Oh, you can see it.
You see the subtle hint of lightning.
The heat lightning or whatever.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you see the not the clouds because it's dark, but you see it's picturesque.
Was there a fire? Was there a campfire?
Oh my God, a huge camp. Okay. Not a huge camp, but a perfectly
circled around.
100% circled around. And there was an adjacent campsite because there wasn't many. The reason we picked these days, because we checked in on Sunday, the reason we picked these days is during the beginning of the week, it's way less crowded.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's coming for the weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weekends is nuts. So we picked this stretch of time because it's going to be less crowded.
You have a little country music playing on someone's like...
Oh, dude. My God, you can read my mind.
Right? It's just a little music in the background.
Springsteen by Eric Church is in the background.
All right.
And I promise I'm not getting choked up. The air quality is so bad, and I'm sitting by a campfire, which is really good for a guy with asthma. Anyway, yeah, Eric Church, Springsteen is playing in the background. I'm like, I freaking get it.
I get it.
I get why this is amazing.
This is somebody's dream.
So, funny you say that. There was a family, I would say a guy probably in his late 20s, early 30s, and they have 3 kids. And it was, these kids are all under the age of 10. And it's nonstop. Water slides, blah, 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 blah. And this dad had been working all day. Okay. Yeah. And so he came and sat down, and we got to meet. Super, super nice guy. And he, I think, works for a concrete company. And, that's hard labor.
So he's working.
That's
like when he works, he's actually working.
That's 12 hours a day in the sun, getting his butt kicked.
Sure.
And I went, this is his baseball game. You know what I mean?
This is his mecca.
This is his. Exactly. And I went, oh my God, I get it.
So fun.
I get why. Both my brothers are blue collar guys. My dad's a blue collar guy. Like that. That's just the family I was raised in. I went, okay, I'm a pampered. You know what?
Sure.
I get why this is amazing, serene, just zen. It's zen. That's what it was.
So you're telling me you're going to buy a fifth wheel?
Shut up.
Pop up trailer. Are you kidding me? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
going to
joking.
do? Okay.
I was thinking, So when I was driving here from Austin, Minnesota, because Austin, Minnesota to the Hubbard Broadcasting Studios, super easy drive.
Yeah, what is it, like hour and a half or something?
Oh, it's about closer to 2.
I have to go down there soon.
Really?
Yeah, to Austin.
Hey, guess where I went?
Where?
I tried to go to the Shopko in Austin.
Yeah.
One of the last Shopkos in the state
Sure.
of Minnesota. It's out of business. Anyway,
That's funny that you say that because we're thinking about putting a store in what building? A Shopko in Austin, Minnesota.
shut
Honest
up.
to God, there's like 2 sites. I'm going to go look at them in like 2 weeks in both of those sites in Austin.
I can recommend it because it's huge.
They're decent locations.
And it's right off both the freeway and Highway 218.
What are the chances of that? What are the chances of that?
We
we're
did
going
not
to look at
discuss
that.
this, ladies and gentlemen. We did not discuss that pre-show.
That is really funny.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I'll be down there checking it out.
I've always had an affinity for that city because I grew up playing sports in that city. You know, Faribault, Austin were huge rivals back in the day. And the campground is great. There's always a million people there on the weekend, which is why we picked checking in on Sunday through Wednesday. But I just said, I get it.
I get it.
I totally get it. And the thing is, when you can finally decompress, right? When you can finally just say, okay, shut the brain off.
Sure.
Maybe crack a cold one. Listen to some Eric Church.
Yeah.
Okay, this is cool. And
your family's safe. Everyone you care about is kind of around you.
100%.
Right? You're in a safe spot. You can let loose just a little bit or loosen up the shoulders, right? You can go, oh, okay, I'm just relaxing.
Can I tell you what it was? Because normally when I go to a game or whatever, I'm watching my kids. I'm always like, I never sit down because both of my brothers said, "Will you just sit down?"
Yeah.
Both of them said that to me, right? Because they know just everything about me and whatever. And I sat down, and my niece, God love her, I love you, Willow. She hands me a beer from my brother's cooler, and I went,
okay, guess I'm doing this now. I'm relaxing. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Everybody's cool. Everybody's chill. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Everyone starts hurling insults at me because that's what we do in our family. It's awesome. And I had my Mike Frattallone moment last night, literally at about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. I totally get it.
You know, the best part too about owning a pop-up trailer is if you and the wife ever get in a little spat, you can just pop it open in the driveway. What you do is you pop it open, put a bucket of water with like a scrub brush, and you scrub it up a little bit. But then you spend a couple of nights in there, right? Just to give yourself some space. But you got to look like you're cleaning it up to put it away, right? For the season.
Right.
So, I've seen a lot of guys do that where like, I'm popping it up and, oh, by the way, why is there a little, like they're doing dishes out with the sink. Like, is he cleaning a pan in the sink? Does he know he's making his mac and cheese out in the pop-up?
Well, that's what's funny. So I was starting to think, I could see
live
me
here.
having one, doing one of these.
I could live in this place.
Here's the problem too, because I remember looking at one of my youngest son, he's 10, and he and I slept on. So my parents have a beautiful fifth wheel camper, and they have 2 bunk beds in the back for us knuckleheads, and they have a master bedroom up at the top, and a nice kitchen, living room, and it's one of those that, like, what is it, fold out? Yeah, exactly. And I saw my kids like, oh, they've been bit. Damn it. They've been bit by the camping bug. They loved it. Yeah. And so then this morning, or I should say last night, my 10-year-old and I we were sleeping on the part where you fold it down, and it's a kitchen table in the morning,
it's a kitchen table
and now it's a bed at night.
Yeah.
And we're sleeping there, and my 10-year-old does not like lay still at all. I'm like, oh God, buddy, just lay still. And all of a sudden, oh my God, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta go. Like, I gotta get here. Right?
Oh wow.
And so it was super funny because I could tell he goes, Dad, we should get one of these. I go, oh God. All right. You know what? And as the drive here, I'm like, you know what? He's right.
He's right.
We should be doing this more often.
You know what would be cool too is you could, when they're in high school and they play someplace else, you could drag it there. You got to get an RV though. Not something you trailer on. You want an RV, so you just drive, open it up. Like some sporting events when they do that weekend tournament.
Yes.
Like some people would drive their RVs to these volleyball tournaments, and then they'd have a little barbecue out there for the team. I'm like, that's really cool. RVs happen to be incredibly expensive.
Yes, they are.
Like, wow, but they're very cool looking.
Well, and that's the thing, because there's a family with one of my son's teams that literally does that.
Okay.
That's what they do. Hey, we're playing in Red Wing or whatever.
We'll take the RV.
We'll grill out for the team that day. And it's like, okay, I get it. We're not in that much trouble.
Yeah.
The city isn't. I mean, the city's a disaster, but you know what? The state, we're good.
Worst thing about RVing, can I tell you what it is? When you go into someone's RV, right, and they have this beautiful RV, and you go in and you go into the bathroom and they have a little sign saying, please do not number 2 here, only number 1. And you think to yourself, do you think I have a choice? What do you do? What do you do when you're like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do. You have to go empty that thing, do it over a bridge or something. I don't know what do you have an answer for this?
Well, I do because my parents have the same sign in their camper.
They do. See,
yes.
It's like, what the hell? Am I supposed to choose? Because sometimes you start and you think, well, this started as a number 1.
Well, at the Beaver Trails campground, whatever, at 4:00 this morning, I went, uh-oh. I had to run to they have a shower
setup,
situation
sure.
and setup.
Yeah.
So you have to put your shoes on. It's almost like you're living at, you're like the Ingalls, Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie.
I got to walk all the way to the porta potty and
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, it was super fun. And then, like I said, it was awesome. But you know what happened? Last night, me and my brothers, you've never met my brothers, but we're all pretty much the same person. And we went to the pool. They had nice water slides for the kids.
Fun,
and super cool. And they also had a one of those things that's like the bouncy pad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one of those deals. And it closed at 8:00.
Uh-oh.
So it's like 7:40, and my youngest guy, Dad, the bouncy pad is about to close. We got to go over there because they wanted me to bounce with them because, I'm a big fat ass.
Yeah,
And
you
so
got some bounce pressure.
Let's go there because that's what they were looking forward to was Uncle Chris and Dad coming by to bounce them on the bouncy pad. We got kicked off the bouncing pad.
Oh, were you being too aggressive?
Well, I mean, we were literally the only people there.
Okay.
And I kind of gave it a cannonball, like butt first.
Sure.
Bounce to it. And both nieces, both nephews, and my 2 kids went flying in the air.
Okay.
And that they all laughed. And then
did they all land in the water?
Well, there was like a sand outreach behind it.
Okay.
But yeah, they we got kicked
But
off
I mean,
the
they
bouncy
do
pad.
land in water. I hope they're not landing on the sand.
Well, so
Well, no wonder you got kicked out. You're like,
Yeah.
4 out of 5 kids broke their neck.
Poor Willow went flying about 45 feet. Yeah. So anyway, it was
Willow, she must be light.
Oh,
right?
it was really funny, but it was truly awesome. And I had, like I said, I had my Mike Frattallone moment last night with.
We've
that.
had some real cathartic shows lately.
Well,
We're going through menopause, or something's happening with us.
Well, it's about realization. It's about, for me anyway. I don't know if it was the same thing with you, but it's just like, oh, I get it. Like it's the older you get, the more experience you have, the more you're trying to pass down to your kids. You kind of understand why. Oh, that's why. Because I mean, I've always adapted the mindset and the lifestyle of if I'm not learning, I'm failing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it can go in any walk of life. It doesn't matter professionally, personally, whatever. But it's like, okay, I understand why that's happening. Okay, like even Joe and I will battle. Not battle, that's too strong of a word. Joe and I will disagree multiple times a week. Like, no, you idiot, you can't say that on the air.
Sure.
No, and then he'll say, no, here's why I'm saying such and such on the air. I'm like,
oh. You're smarter than I am.
He's way. And I'm not a dummy. I mean, I'm not.
He's a bright
but,
guy.
Oh,
he's a different
way,
level. He's been thinking about stuff like this for a very long time.
To the point where, and you and I briefly discussed this before we started recording. Yesterday on the Garage Logic podcast, our Big Brother podcast, he said something that he made the most profound point about the devastation of the middle class, in which we were talking about just the median home value in the city of St. Paul, where he grew up in Matamidi, but has lived in St. Paul since 1970 or whatever it was. And we started talking about that, and he made such profound points about, well, no wonder everyone's frustrated. No wonder everybody's angry because the house he bought in 1974 for $27,000 and sold for $100,000, however many years later, is now worth $450,000 according to Zillow, give or take, whatever.
That's probably right.
And I'm thinking, no wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, the statistic he brought, and we had Dan Pilla on, our tax expert, the modern day 30-year-old in 1990, I think that's the year he brought up, 50%, right around 50% of 30-year-olds in 1990 were married, owned a home, and had children. That number is less than 14% today.
Yeah.
And that's
That's sad.
Staggering.
Yeah, that's scary.
And it's very scary. And I think it's a sign of where are we going here? Don't you think?
Well, when you think of that, and you see all these apartments going up, Reuvers, everywhere. Like, they'll knock down a little grocery store and they'll put a apartment building 3 stories tall with retail on the bottom or a little restaurant on the bottom. And you think, who's living in all these? But no one's getting married and everybody's living alone. So it's a bunch of single people living in apartments.
Yep.
When you have a family, all of a sudden 4 people live in one building instead of 4 people have 4 different apartments, or 2 people have 2 different apartments. So it is a weird time. I wish the affordability would come back. I do have some Joe Souchere style links that maybe after our commercial break I can talk to you about, because I really want to get your opinion on this.
Okay, well, let's talk about our friends at We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. A great family-owned organization. And you know what? Guess what I did?
What'd you do?
Again, Beaver Trails, Campground. Guess what the bringing everybody together?
Oh.
It started with, hey, will you please take a picture of my family around the campfire, all of us.
Okay.
And then it started with, well, hey, come down. We'll get you a beer or whatever. And then I said, look
Try
what I
some
have here.
these. Yeah.
Guess what it was? The bourbon toffee almonds.
Yeah.
And he said, I think his name was Greg. He goes, where did you get these? I said, well, We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. He goes, okay, why are you trying to read an ad to me right now? And I said, just go online.
You just asked.
Exactly. Yeah. But he was blown away by the quality.
You know what you do is just give him one nut. Just say one.
No,
say,
you only get one.
Just sorry. And then he's like, wait. Because that's how the drug guys do it, right?
100%.
They give you the first nut free, and then you're addicted to nuts for the rest of your life.
And that's the thing, like just being introduced to this great quality product, and I know he's now sold for life, just like the rest of my family, because I brought the 4-pack Nut House, or the Nut House 4-pack with me on the camping excursion, and it's fantastic. So listen, here's the deal. It's the best handcrafted nuts made right here in the great state of Minnesota, and you can check out all of their wares online at wearenutsmn.com. But go into your local Frattallone's hardware and garden stores, and you can see those great end caps that they have. Also, Max Hardware.
But at the State Fair, they have a big booth at the State Fair.
Very good point.
If you could do us a favor, folks, if you're going to the State Fair and you go to the booth, you'll be able to meet the head nut and Michael, his son, and a couple of the other boys. Say, hey, I heard you on the Weekly Scramble, or Frattallone and Reuvers talking about it. Because that's a really cool, just to go meet those guys. Buy nuts or don't buy nuts, go meet them and say hello, because they're cool guys to meet.
And I should have posted a photo of the We Are Nuts being sampled in Austin, Minnesota last night on the Frat
They
Pack.
love that stuff.
5,000 Facebook page. Anyway, check them out online, and make sure you mention they heard about it on the Weekly Scramble podcast, and we will be right back. Yep, campfire smoke.
Yep.
Super fun.
Okay, so I'm going to do this as a, here's an amateur link, and you need to tell me if this is right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Okay, Reuvers, I have, I follow Joe Souchere, and Joe Souchere is an incredible linker, right?
Sure.
He's the link master. So every once in a while, I try to link something, and I want to get your opinion on this link.
All right.
Okay, so it starts with this story.
It's an amateur link.
It's
not a professional
I'm not a
link.
professional.
Thank you.
This is an amateur link. So there's something called the Rhizotope Project. It's in South Africa. It's a South African-led initiative that embeds trace amounts of radioactive isotopes directly into rhinoceroses' horns. So what they're doing is poachers are killing all these rhinoceri.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Is this harmful to said ant?
No.
It's not. Okay.
It's totally, I guess, a rhinoceros horn is much akin to like a fingernail, so it doesn't do anything to them, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So they shoot these rhinoceroses with a tranquilizer gun. They go over to its horn and they inject these radioactive isotopes into their tusk, their horn, right?
All right.
And then what happens is a poacher may or may not know that rhinoceros has been injected with radioactive material. They kill the rhinoceros, they cut off the tusk, and then they go to sell it. But they often have to go through an airport to do it. If they go through an airport, all of a sudden the radioactive detection mechanisms in the airport go screaming because people think it's a nuclear bomb, right? A radioactive material getting onto a plane. In reality, it's a rhinoceros horn setting off the detection. Same things like, people have like stomach cancer and they take radioactive isotopes or something to, break down thing, and then they're radioactive for a while.
Yep.
It's the same concept that they're doing with this rhinoceros horn. And I was thinking of that and I was like, that is pretty creative. Right? Like, it's a great way to, the rhinoceros is still dead, the horn's still cut off, but you're catching the people that are doing it because wherever they're going, if they're doing it by sea or by air, they have these detection systems that will check and find this radioactive isotope in the horn. So I thought, like, where could that be used for good? Right? Where could we use concepts like this? And I stumbled onto another concept where I'm really quite worried about it. And there's something called, you've not heard of the Lone Star tick.
No.
So the Lone Star tick is a tick that's in Texas, Lone Star State. And when you get bit by this tick, you get something called alpha-gal syndrome. So AGS.
Okay.
And alpha-gal syndrome, it makes you not able to process red meat. So you have to become it's called forced vegetarian.
Really?
So the fine people at PETA kind of had this link themselves saying, hey, the more people that get alpha-gal syndrome can't eat meat anymore, ergo, we're saving a bunch of animals. So what happened in Martha's Vineyard, there was a big breakout of alpha-gal syndrome. And the fine people at PETA said, we're going to write a cookbook called the Martha Stewart Alpha-gal Syndrome, Martha's Vineyard Alpha-gal Syndrome Cookbook for all these people, the 124 people that got bit by this tick who can no longer eat meat.
Yep.
And the people in Martha's Vineyard were not so happy about that. They were like, I'm not a big fan of you making fun of this situation. And I don't think PETA's making fun of it. PETA's actually saying, there's a story here. Let me give you the headline of the story. It's a New York Times story, and it starts like this. It said, and it's from the New York Times. It's from the Martha's Vineyard Times. And it says, good news, Lone Star tick bites are increasing in Martha's Vineyard. Meaning, wait, what? More than 149 cases this year. That's good news because when someone is bitten by a Lone Star tick, they usually need to stop eating meat. Here's my link, right? So the same thing we did with this rhinoceros, with the isotopes into the rhinoceros. Do you think a group like PETA. So here, let me ask you this.
All right.
If you believed
I'm mesmerized by now.
If you believed that eating animals causes global warming, and instead of 12 years, now we're down to 8 years, then in 8 years, the world will be gone. If you truly, truly believe that, what would stop you from breeding these Lone Star ticks, propagating these Lone Star ticks, and leaving them out in places where people, maybe kids' playgrounds, where kids would get bit by this tick and then never could eat red meat again? It's not that weird of a link somebody could do something like that.
Okay, so let me because I'm trying to follow the logic here, and you've laid it out very, very well. But certain climates, the ticks are going to die just based upon cold and extreme weather, including here.
Yep.
Right. But that you're right. What would then stop them from just releasing another batch? And
ticks, I don't know if they die or hibernate because they're here again next year, right?
Well, you know what Royce's whole point about ticks was, right?
What's
Why
that?
They didn't evolve? No ambition. They don't want to get better.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the word ticks, that's all I think about is Royce's.
Another line. So the Lone Star ticks are helping save countless lives, both human and animal. The ticks are saving human lives from meat-related diseases by prompting them to go vegan. And vegans, once they go vegan, they're saving about 200 animals a year by just not eating them.
Once you go vegan, you never go back.
You never go back.
Here's the thing, though, because the problem that I have with that is the myth that, and again, farm kid, grew up, whatever. The entire notion that red meat is somehow bad for you is such a myth. It's such a lie. In fact, your body needs to, in order to sustain healthy, in order to sustain a healthy way of life, to build, you need to eat red meat, like lean. I'm not saying.
Or the fats, who knows? Maybe those fats are good for you.
Exactly.
Everything that we believed 5 years ago is not true. Everything that we believe in 5 years will not be true.
And I grew up on that stuff. And I graduated high school at 6'2.5" and 172 pounds or whatever the hell I was. And that's all I grew up on was gristle and meat, red meat and whatever. And then I thought, oh, okay, I guess I need to eat leaner with chicken and fish. And I love all of it, right? But it's healthy protein. That's what you need to have. It's not bad for the environment, you idiots.
Here's
I'm not talking about you,
the
by the way.
last little paragraph. If you've been bitten by a Lone Star tick, or if it just ticks you off of the meat, egg, and dairy industry, causing animal suffering and contribute to the climate catastrophe and other environmental problems, see PETA.org/VSK for a free vegan starter kit. That's written by Heather Moore at PETA, right? She's from the PETA Foundation. I'm just waiting for PETA to say, they're basically saying in this article, we want that tick. Congratulations. They're going to get people off of meat, and they're going to save the environment from climate catastrophes. And I'm just waiting. And my question for you, and I'm going a little bit off here.
Oh, do it.
So if you found out that PETA went ahead and put in beautiful Jordan, Minnesota, millions of these ticks, right? And your family or you or somebody got bit by the tick and you could never eat meat again, what would be the penalty for someone who did that if they were found guilty of doing that? Because they're poisoning you with a disease,
Right.
so they can have you not eat meat in again. So you don't have the choice whether to eat meat. Now it's forced upon you. What would be their said penalty?
Well, execution.
Execution.
Yes.
You start with execution.
100%.
Yeah.
And then once I realized it was actual intent to either poison me or anybody in my family, then, oh my God, this is the problem I have, is the reason that certain sections of our country is broken is because so many people are acting on the behalf of others. I'm going to be offended for you. No, F you. I don't need you to be offended for me. Guess what? I'm offended about things a lot of the time. And you know what I'm offended about the most is people that are offended for others. That's not your job.
It's not your job.
Stay in your lane. Shut your big pie hole. Go eat some cake. Go pierce your nose. Go do whatever. Leave me the F alone. Okay, you're not here to speak about or speak for me or anybody that I'm related to. Sit down.
Sit down.
That was A. That was A. B, we need to be in a place where we just leave each other alone.
Oh,
right?
just be kind.
What was I talking about just in the first segment? Just chill. Everyone chill and realize, oh yeah, this is pretty
Life
cool.
is okay.
You know what I had? I had a giant, greasy cheeseburger with Munster cheese from Hy-Vee. Shout out to Hy-Vee.
Oh, good.
I love Munster cheese.
Munster cheese never even... Munster.
Munster. What did I say?
I thought you said mustard. I heard you wrong.
Munster cheese for a cheeseburger. Oh my God, dude, it's the best. Anyway, okay, that's what I had. A big, giant, fat cheeseburger last night. And you know what? If that tick had been in me, I would still eat the damn thing.
Still eat it.
Wouldn't care. But that's the thing. Stop being offended or trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. And that, in a nutshell, is what's plaguing our country.
Okay, so I'm going to make a prediction because my amateur link from listening to the rhinoceros isotopes, moving into this Lone Star tick, I predict we catch someone propagating these ticks and spreading them out, because it used to only be in the South, and now they made it all the way up to Martha's Vineyard. I predict that somebody, an environmentalist, a crazed environmentalist, I'm not saying a normal environmentalist, not someone who just wants the earth to be better, but somebody who's willing to go another level. And I think this is going to happen because the way they're talking about it in a simple article from the Martha's Vineyard Times, they're saying, wow, what a great thing. I'm so glad that you have this disease now that you can't eat red meat. Congratulations. It's like,
so
what?
This would be very similar than in 2020 when COVID broke out.
No comment. I don't know. I mean, that was...
But that's honestly, when you were reading that, that's exactly what struck me is, why are we trying to create a problem here?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Yeah, and what could be the law of unintended consequences if half the United States can't eat meat?
Right. Then all of a sudden, twice as many people vote.
Dogs and cats are making love. We have no idea what could be happening.
Well, but the other thing is, imagine being a person that every day you wake up, you look for a problem that doesn't exist. Can you imagine being that person that wakes up every single day that's looking for an issue that isn't there? And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to live that way. I don't want my kids to live that way. I don't want anybody that I care about to live that way. Why? Why are you waking up every day looking for a problem that doesn't exist?
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I could see people at PETA saying, I'd prefer to not kill cows. I'd prefer people to not kill pigs. I can see that. To be absolutely blunt about it, if I had to go kill a pig to get bacon, I might eat way less bacon. I'd still eat bacon. I'd do it occasionally. But if I had to go kill a pig every day, I'd be like, this is growing a little tiring. Maybe if I did it every day, it wouldn't be a big deal. Once in a blue moon, it might be kind of shocking to me. But the audacity for someone to say, thank God people are getting alpha-gal syndrome. Thank God they're getting it because now they're going to be able to eat. They have to not eat red meat. They won't be able to eat red meat. What weird world and what disease that you have in your brain that you're happy someone is catching this disease from a tick?
Well, and not only that, that's a great point, but not only that, but also the ramifications, as you mentioned, the effect long term of, okay, we're just going to shut down farming. Mm-hmm. Once that happens, we again, I'm going to bring it back to 2020. The essential portion of our society is farming.
Yeah,
it's you want to pay $8 for a dozen eggs. I mean, look at long term what that's going to mean on a global scale, because we can't function as a society if we continue to target a certain demographic. We can't.
You can't have Outback steakhouses not sell steak anymore because the blooming onion is good. The blooming onion.
God, I love a blooming onion.
They're good, but they're only an appetizer. I don't want to go there and say, oh, my choices are the Cobb salad and a blooming onion, right? I want to be able to eat the meat, but if I have this alpha-gal syndrome because of this stupid tick that PETA's probably propagating, not saying they're doing it, but maybe they would, I don't want to live in a world that is just Outback. Where it's just called Outback. It's Outback Steakhouse.
And I'm not trying to single out people. If that's the life that you choose to lead,
go ahead.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No one cares.
If that's what makes you happy, then do it. But you're not going to inflict your personal beliefs and your personal whatever. You're not going to inflict that on me and everybody else. That's your choice.
They've been told for years that the world is going to end. They've been told for years that the world is going to end.
You're right.
And if I believed that the world was going to end, I think I would do just about anything to help.
But you're smart enough to realize, because it's funny. I'll have conversations with young ones, maybe or maybe not related to me, and I'll say, "We're good. Don't. That's not something you need to worry about."
Sure.
Because you know what? We played a clip. Was it yesterday or the day before? Of a Dan Rather global warming scare tactic on CBS News from 43 years ago.
Sounds identical today, I bet.
Not only does it sound identical to today, nothing in that clip happened.
Yeah.
And it's 43 years old. To the point where, so in your head, right? Picture 1982 technology.
Love it.
On CBS News. And here's Dan Rather at the desk, and I can't do a Dan Rather voice. And so he's doing that, and the graphics associated with said news story. So the point was 25% of Florida will be underwater.
Sure.
So they showed the graphic of here's Florida, and then inland, it's like, well.
All of a sudden, Orlando's beachfront property.
Right. Like that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
None of that happened.
Oh.
So again, what's the problem here?
I'm not going to pretend that I know whether global warming is happening or global climate change is happening. I don't know that. But I listen to NPR a lot. I do. I listen to it while I drive quite often, in fact. Every story that they have about apple orchards, less people are going to apple orchards this year to get their cider. Well, do you think that is influenced by climate change? It's like, nope. Maybe that apple orchard just isn't as busy because no one wants to spend $15 for a bag of apples this year.
Exactly.
Right?
Or people don't have as much discretionary income as they did.
Every story has a question from the reporter at the end. Do you think that has something to do with climate concerns? It's like,
oh my God!
What are you talking about? This is a story about a theme park. It's so weird, Reuvers.
Oh.
So weird.
Anyway, I just it makes me mad when. The only thing that really truly upsets me is when someone needs to act on behalf of another person that didn't ask for that help to begin with. That's the only part.
I don't know if you knew this, but I learned something new today. I got some cool stats for you.
Oh, please.
The average American male, Reuvers, has sex 2 to 3 times a week. The average American male.
Lucky him.
The average Japanese male has sex 3 to 4 times per year, Reuvers.
Wait, so that's quite a bit of a difference.
3 to 4 times per year, which is quite alarming considering that I had no idea that I was Japanese. Reuvers, you are the best.
Thank you, Michael. Please do it. I don't think you are Japanese.
No. I mean, kinda.
Please do us a favor, rate and review the show.
She's going to kill me.
100%.
My wife is going to kill me for this.
Nicole had nothing to do with that
me.
joke.
You know how she could not kill me? Is we could prove that I'm not Japanese.
Exactly.
3 to 4 times a week.
And we could eat more red meat.
Yes.
His name is Mike Frattallone. My name is Chris Reuvers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast, and rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening. We'll talk to you again next time. And until then, cheers.